Good afternoon, Andrew. Good afternoon, everybody. It's lovely
You must
to be
wave
back.
back. Surely, please back.
Yeah,
Come on, Andrew, wave.
yeah, wave. In fact, oddly, Andrew was on the last kind of work-based call, and we did exactly that. We waved. He
I
waved
saw.
back.
I saw.
Yeah. So, welcome everybody to another that album, The Healer, John Lee Hooker. It seems like exactly the right kind of music to be playing on a Friday afternoon, doesn't it?
Yeah, it absolutely does. The weather's just changed a little bit. It's not bleak by any stretch of the imagination, but it's just a little bit not as good as it was. Although some people would argue it's better than it was.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was. I do love a bit of heat. I spent a few years working out in the Middle East, and I got used to the heat, and I do like the heat. But it was looking a little bit like the Sahara out on our lawn, and the fact that the edge has just come off is kind of quite soothing in many ways.
Yeah.
So, the Healer, John Lee Hooker from 1989. Interesting year, 1989. The Satanic Verses was published and all the controversy around that. Hillsborough, first broadcast from the House of Commons. Peter Sutcliffe's wife was, you couldn't make this up, could you? Peter Sutcliffe's wife was awarded £600,000 in damages against Private Eye. The Guildford Four were released. Lily James, Rory McIlroy, Daniel Radcliffe, Anthony Joshua, Jennifer Pike were all born. Daphne du Maurier and Laurence Olivier died. Films: Steel Magnolias, The Abyss, Back to the Future Part 2, Kiki's Delivery Service, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, When Harry Met Sally, and Batman all came out. When Harry Met Sally, you would have pegged it way in front of 1989, that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you absolutely would have done. I think you've missed a couple of big news stories.
Okay, go on.
March 1989. That's when Tim Berners-Lee, who at the time was working at CERN, wrote the proposal that became the web. Without that paper in 1989,
we wouldn't be doing this. Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
Sky TV launched.
What launched?
Sky TV.
Did it?
Yeah.
Wow.
In February.
Okay, yeah, because I suppose it was B Sky B before that, wasn't it?
It was indeed. And we had the Marchioness disaster on the Thames.
Oh, yes. I remember that.
Tiananmen Square.
Wow, yeah.
I mean, it's a massive year.
Yeah. Some good books published this year: Clear and Present Danger, The Remains of the Day, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, and The Dark Half. And albums: Like a Prayer, The Stone Roses, Pump, Club Classics Volume 1. I mean, we all danced to that, didn't we? The Raw and the Cooked, Cosmic Thing, The Sensual World, Batman, and The Seeds of Love. So, I mean, some really iconic albums.
And Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not a big Guns N' Roses fan, but yes, absolutely.
It was, at the time, it was everywhere. It's just massive.
Yeah. So what a remarkable year. So why this album? With so many albums from this year to choose from, why The Healer? So,
yeah, there's a story behind The Healer, and actually there's a number of connected stories. So I'm going to ramble for a few minutes. So you have to
do.
So I used to listen religiously to Dave Lee Travis, DLT, the Hairy Hairy Cornflakes. Saturday and Sunday morning radio show on Radio 1. And he championed this album on his show. It was one of the things, you've got to listen to this. It's wonderful. And he'd play The Healer. And I think, it was amazing. And that was my introduction to Carlos Santana, because I didn't know who Santana was before 89. I heard him on this song.
We did. You brought a Santana album previously, didn't you?
I brought Supernatural. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my connection into Santana. But DLT was responsible for a lot of my early music taste being molded.
Yeah.
Because he didn't play the regular stuff that was on. Well, he did play obviously some of it, but he's the reason I've got a Harry Connick Jr. album in my collection.
Yeah.
where he's covering Disney songs. You know, it's just odd things like that. He was very good at it. So funny adjacent story. DLT used to do a slot on his show called The Think Link, and he used to play 3 records. You had to guess the connection and then work out what the 4th record was. And it was quite, did it on a regular basis. They were always quite cryptic. But most Saturday or Sundays, Jim Bowen from Bullseye used to ring in and he'd say, "Oh, I'm driving down the M1, Dave." Yeah, 321. That was Ted Rogers.
Bullseye, yes, of course it was. Of course it was. Sorry.
Nothing for 2 in a bed. Not in this game. So Jim Bowen used to ring in and say, "I'm driving down the M1. I've got my felt tip pen with toilet paper. I've written down the clues. And I think I've got the 4th one." And inevitably he was wrong. At the time I was between careers and I was working as a night porter in a hotel in Newport. And Jim Bowen was staying in the hotel. So Jim Bowen comes in. "Oh, hello, Mr. Bowen. I heard you on DLT show this morning doing the Think Link. It was a tough one this morning. I think from memory, I think the answer was it was an airline connection. And the 4th song was I'm Mandy Flabby by 10cc or something." So we got chatting and we sat there. This is 11:30 at night, having a conversation on the benches in reception. And there's a painter behind us painting the walls of the hotel, reception painted, who turns out used to be the goalkeeper for Newport County football team a couple of years before and is now a professional footballer. Anyway, over the space of an hour and a half, we had worked out it would be cheaper for me to pay Jim Bowen to come and paint my house than it would be this decorator. But long story. So, but this album was DLT introducing me to the blues. I didn't know who John Lee Hooker was, and it turns out most people didn't know who John Lee Hooker was before this album.
No, and reading up on it, it's kind of so. He had semi-retired, hadn't he? And he'd slipped from fame. He was born in like 1912, and he'd slipped from was it 1912? Hang on, 1912. And when this album came out, he'd gone into retirement, and it was a comeback. And he was 72 years old when this just unbelievable. And this made him famous, made him a household name, didn't it?
Well, pretty much, yeah. I mean, Rolling Stone said, I've got a quote from Rolling Stone magazine, "Brilliant, 100% proof blues. The spirit that animates this album is the ageless voice of John Lee Hooker and his boogeyman blues. He has conjured up a renewed world blues with the canniness of the hoodoo healers and the root doctors who first gave birth to the Delta blues." And you think, "Oh, that's a bit." But then you actually see who John Lee Hooker worked with and grew up alongside and played, and you go, "Oh no, he probably is one of the founding fathers of the Delta blues."
Yeah, and I think what is really interesting about this this album is that it strikes that middle ground. So there are people like Big Bill Broonzy and all of that ilk from the early days. And when you listen to it, it sounds like they could have done with a little bit more practice. And I mean that, full of soul, full of vibe, but not very polished. Then at the other end, you've got the kind of obviously he wasn't he would probably just about have been born at this point, but you got like the John Mayers and the Eric Claptons, who are incredibly slick and polished. Hi, Sean. Hi, everybody.
And Robert Craig, who appears on this album.
Sorry?
And Robert Craig, who also appears on this album.
Yeah. So incredibly polished. So very good, very, very modern in terms of how they deliver it. Very slick, very polished, very together. And then there's this, which kind of sits in the middle, doesn't it? Where there's simultaneously a bit of that rawness and off the cuff nature, but there's also a bit of that kind of studio polish that we've come to expect. Yeah. And I guess that's why it was so successful, because
you say so
it was a bit edgy.
1 million copies worldwide. Now, it's a million more records than I've ever sold. But
yeah,
I don't think it's that successful. You know, a million doesn't sound successful.
No, but yeah, but it's a bit of a niche thing, isn't it? You know, the albums that were coming out at the time were Like a Prayer, The Stone Roses, Pump, Club Classics, Raw and the Cooked, and all of these were very, very mainstream. And this was, I mean, if it was a bit like If You Knew, You Knew, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This kind of music.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
So should we kick off with a bit of the first track?
Yeah, let's do that.
It's worth saying at this point that it's got that unmistakable Santana sound, hasn't it? It's just
that was my ringtone on my Nokia phone for years.
Oh, brilliant! So I first was aware of this album. I had started working in the hi-fi industry, and it was one of the albums that I heard for the first time in the hi-fi store that I was working in.
Okay.
And you know, this went on, and I just thought, this is pretty cool. This is cool. I like this. Being completely unlike anything I had heard before, because, you know, I had grown up in a household where the music that was playing at home would be a bit of classical, but would also be the Beatles, Frank Sinatra, Jack Jones, Petula Clark, you know, 60s kind of icons. And because I was a violinist, I was not exposed to lots of the stuff that particularly was in the charts. I had not a great deal of interest. And this was a whole new world that opened up, whole new world.
So just quickly before we move on, I just want to jump back to Eric's comment. Eric said he inspired ZZ Top's Lagrange. I think just obviously this week we lost the drummer from ZZ Top.
Yeah.
The only man called Beard in the band. So probably just worth a nod.
Yeah. So actually, yeah. Hi, Sean. Nice to see you. I believe you're the guest on the show next week. So drop a comment as to what album we're doing, because I don't think I've got a note of that. Yeah, I did mean to drop you, but not the Blues Brothers, please. Yeah, so I mean, a great start. Not actually like the rest of the album, but a really interesting and thoughtful.
It was enough to get me to buy the album. It was this track that made me go, oh wow!
Absolutely. Yeah, Carlos Santana revealed he based the track on track structure on The Doors, When the Music Is Over, a song that had originally inspired Hooker's music, bringing the artistic influence full circle. And yeah, I mean, it's very Santana, isn't it? That Latin vibe to it.
Yeah, and it was recorded in California, unlike the rest of the album.
Yeah,
so it was somewhere nice and sunny. You can feel that Latin heat coming through the song.
Absolutely,
it's a very warm and it's a very rich song.
Yeah, and it is, I guess, also worth mentioning that in terms of a body of John Lee Hooker's work, it's very impressive, but equally impressive, or perhaps more impressive in some ways, is the collaborations on this album, because it's like every track pretty much has got a megastar playing who wants to be associated with John Lee Hooker, hasn't it?
Yeah, and no, I mean, as we go through the album, hopefully the viewers who don't know the songs will hear this. This isn't, I mean, this track, for example, isn't Carlos Santana taking the limelight. because you can still hear Johnny Hooker.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
everything is
absolutely.
nicely, all the tracks. You can hear the guest, you can hear Hooker, except track where it's just Johnny Hooker, because then you can hear Hooker, because that's the way it was intended.
Yeah.
But it's not about making someone else look good. It's about artists playing together and making something that is actually quite cohesive rather than one-sided.
Yeah, and look at this comment from LinkedIn user. Because of your privacy settings, I'm not quite sure who said this. A single live take. Wow, very impressive.
I didn't know that.
No. So on to track 2. I'm in the mood. So we've moved from Carlos Santana and his band through to Bonnie Raitt. So
Who at the time was also on the Skids.
Really?
Yeah, this was also her comeback year.
Okay, fantastic. So here we go. This is a reworking of Hooker's 1951 classic, I'm in the mood. She's playing slide guitar on this, and the vocal chemistry between the 72-year-old Hooker and Raitt earned this album its flagship Grammy Award for Best Traditional Blues Performance on this track. So
was it the track or the album? I thought it was just the track that got the song that got the
right. Okay.
Rather than the album. I don't think the album got a Grammy. I think this song did.
Fine. Oh, hi, Nigel. Thank you. So here we go. I mean, the man was a god, wasn't he? This is just unreal.
This, for me, this is, again, so this album's my introduction to the blues, but this is the blues. This is what I imagine when someone says, "Oh, I've got a blues album. I want it to be like this."
Yeah.
Except, not an exception. This track stands out because her slide guitar playing is beautiful.
Absolutely.
You can hear it and you just think, if butter could melt.
Yeah, the thing that is really lovely about her slide playing is that it's quite relaxed and effortless. So you get somebody like Duane Allman, who is kind of really in your face with his slide playing, and he's showing off, and she's not doing any of that at all. She's absolutely accompanying Hooker's voice, and it's masterful, absolutely masterful.
So I'm just seeing Nigel's comment about, she said it was the most erotically charged. Now I've got a note about,
if she was still smoking, she would have needed a cigarette.
Mojo Overview described it as a steamily erotic dialogue between the two artists.
Yeah.
So it all ties up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's hope we've still got it at 72. Hey. So I mean, we've got two very different tracks, very different supporting artists. She absolutely is. To this day, she's a remarkable guitarist, a great singer as well. So two very different tracks. So track 3, we've got a nobody. He's joined by Robert Cray. So it is a who's who of music greats at this time, isn't it?
Robert Cray at this time was had his most influential. Yeah, if this
Yeah.
was, I saw Robert Cray. I went to a recording of Jules Holland, later Jules Holland,
Okay.
and Robert Cray was on the bill, and he was the one I was looking forward to seeing. And actually, he wasn't the most disappointing, but he wasn't the best people on the show. He came on, he did his bit, and I was left underwhelmed.
Yeah, I mean, there's this thing about not meeting your heroes, though, isn't there?
Yeah.
I went with, and I must have said this on the show because I've done so many of these shows now. I once went with a friend of mine to Apple used to do a music festival in London,
Yes, they did.
And there was a gig at the Roundhouse, and I got tickets to that, and I went, and it was to see Graham Coxon.
Okay.
And to say that he was shit would be a majestic piece of understatement. It was so awful that at the half time, my friend and I went and got a beer, and then just thought, should we just go home? And did, because it was so he was so boring. Now this, on the other hand, there is no boredom going on here, is there?
No. Just before we jump in, did you know that Robert Cray was in National Lampoon's Animal House?
I did not.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
It was a 1978 film, but he was in there. I mean, that was obviously before he found his mojo.
Well, yes. So it would seem that's a little bit at odds with his normal style, isn't it? But nonetheless. So here we go. Baby Lee featuring Robert Cray. I mean, you can see, can't you, in your mind's eye, you can see a bottle of bourbon and a glass on top of each of the amplifiers. It's just got that really chilled kind of vibe to it, hasn't it?
But with that bass line, rocking.
Yeah, absolutely. So here it says it's a bridge between two generations of blues masters. Cray's clean Fender Stratocaster tone acts as a modern counterpart to Hooker's raw, driving boogie rhythm, and it's lovely, the kind of juxtaposition of these two players, isn't it?
Yeah, and there's almost there's almost a dialogue between the two guitars. As they, it is brilliant.
Absolutely fantastic. And I guess that it is because he's brought in, and I guess this is what's quite special about this album, because he's brought in a series of other artists to collaborate with him. It isn't like this being your introduction to blues. It wasn't like you were being thrown in at the deep end. Because if you'd have been listening to,
you're absolutely right.
Yeah, so had you have bought a copy of Alabama Blues by J.B. Lenoir or something like that, it's like, it's quite a rich diet as your introduction, whereas this is kind of more polished and more accessible, I guess, isn't it?
Well, it's probably how it ended up on the Radio 1 playlist. Do you think, what? This isn't the sort of stuff that ends up on the Radio 1 playlist, but there you go. It was on there. So.
Absolutely. So Robert Cray, and that's it for major collab. Oh no, it's not. Because the next track, cutting out, we've got Canned Heat, And it's kind of quite an interesting choice, isn't it? That this is a band which is not like the other artists that have collaborated on this. You know, their big hit, "On the Road Again," you know, and that kind of almost kind of southern rock, almost, isn't it?
Yeah, but Alan Wilson and Bob Haidt, who founded the band Canned Heat, were blues historians. You know, they had a deep background in proper blues. And in fact, the name Canned Heat was taken from the 28 recording by Tommy Johnson. So they were listening to proper blues stuff when they formed their band. So
right, that makes sense now. The choice of them as a collaborator on here, but I do think it's interesting, isn't it, when you see these artists, and clearly John Lee Hooker throughout his career, certainly earlier on in his career, was incredibly influential for a lot of these bands out there, and when they get the opportunity to collaborate on something like this, they just jump at the chance, don't they? And
I guess the musicians knew who he was. It was the rest of us that kind of didn't. There was somebody I saw a minute ago in the comments that mentioned Frank Zappa, because on this track they were joined by
that was Nigel.
Oh, there we go. So Nigel clearly knows his stuff. One of Frank Zappa's band, Larry the Mole Taylor, played the bass on this track.
Right, on the track we're just about to have, Cutting Out.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go then. Cutting Out, featuring Canned Heat.
Won't be back no more. Lord. Good night, good morning. Won't be back no more. Hey. Won't be back no more. A woman told me, if the road got it, don't come back no more. Pack my suitcase, go on down the line. I got down to the station, suitcase in my hand. The train will leave.
Right, this makes sense. So I'm reading something here that says so this reunites Hooker with the remaining members of Canned Heat, picking up where their seminal 1971 collaborative double LP Hooker and Heat left off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, and it's apparent from the very outset, isn't it, that these are people that have worked together before.
So, and I've got a note about Canned Heat. They are responsible, or they're credited with bringing back a number of forgotten blues men to the forefront of modern blues, including Sunnyland Slim, who they found driving a taxi in Chicago, and Skip James, who they found in a hospital in Mississippi. And they took him to the Newport Festival.
And then these people are megastars again. And it's really interesting that seems to be a repeating pattern for bluesmen from the Delta. So I read the story about a guy called Son House, that is a singer and guitarist, and he had given it all up and was a pastor or something. And then somebody found one of his old recordings, like, oh my God, this guy is just amazing. They went and tracked him down, and he'd not played for so long he'd forgotten how to play the guitar. So they gave him a guitar, and he had to relearn how to play the guitar. And then he went on tour and was like really successful again. And it's just some incredible stories with this kind of thing, aren't there?
Yeah. So just picking up on something in the music, the song is about heading out on a train towards a better life. And actually, if you listen to the percussion in that song, it sounds like a train going.
It absolutely does, doesn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's actually, again, it's just one of those little things that you kind of go, oh, yeah, that's clever.
So
I'm by a guy called Charlie Musselwhite, who will come on to a couple of times during this.
Yeah. So a nice comment here from Nigel. I can recommend the soundtrack for an album for a terrible film, The Hotspot, directed by Dennis Hopper, with John Lee Hooker, Miles Davis, and Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal, another amazing bluesman. What's there not to like about that combination? Absolutely fantastic. Keep up the good work, Sean. So there we go. Cutting Out featuring Canned Heat. Think Twice Before You Go featuring Los Lobos.
That's a big name.
Yeah, so an American rock band from East Los Angeles, California. Their music is influenced by rock and roll, Tex-Mex, country, Zydeco, folk, R&B, blues, brown-eyed soul, and traditional music.
And obviously, we all know them because of La Bamba.
Yeah, indeed. But again, another really interesting collab, and it's almost as if this was put together with the idea of introducing the blues to a new audience. So I don't know who John Lee Hooker is, but I've heard of Canned Heat. Maybe this track will be all right. Oh, this is all right. And yeah, so here we go. Think Twice Before You Go.
Before you go, you can just repeat it again. Think twice before you go, you can just repeat it again. You leave it one time, then you leave again. You got soul with the baby, and I know you pay to do. You suffer with me, baby, and I know you pay to do. You really want I need you. And I know that you. Should be ruined when the man love is wrong. When the heart should be ruined when the man love is wrong.
Yeah, I mean, another great track and different to what else has come before. But when you think about the album as a whole, it's really interesting, isn't it? The juxtaposition between the A side and the B side on this album, and how it kind of, it's clearly. It's been conceived as an idea to kind of warm people up, to show them what the real stuff is like, isn't it?
Yeah, it does, because there's a very commercial feel to it. There's a very accessible feel to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it is. But I've just seen Sean's post. If you're taking votes on that for System of a Down gets mine, because I would love to see you do System of a Down.
Fine. So Sally Mae featuring George Thorogood.
Yeah, another name that no one's ever heard of.
Yeah, absolutely. Raw Delta blues. Stripped of heavy percussion, Thorogood steps back in from his usual high decibel rock approach to provide a slide guitar support that mirrors Hooker's acoustic origin style. So here we go, Sally Mae.
Lord, you know you ain't right. yell all night long. Lord, you know you ain't right. You don't know good weed. Lord, the cow won't go down. You don't know good weed. Lord, the cow won't mow you down. While the chief of police, I would drive you out of town. Joy, play the blues, baby.
Thing is, that screaming guitar, what is there not to love about that? I mean, it's just mega stuff, isn't it?
You know, you say this quite a lot on this show. You listen to it on the show and you hear different things. And I've heard that track many times. And yeah, I could hear the guitar screaming out on that one. I'm thinking, yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's real hairs on the back of the neck standing up. Well, I mean, it'd be hairs on the head if we could, but hairs on the, hairs on the chin standing up. Yeah, and it is absolutely, absolutely, as you said, it's mainstream sanitized stuff, commercialized in order to hook people in. You know, he didn't need the money at this point because he was quite a big star.
Johnny Hooker did.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay. But I do love that that this is kind of introing people into a completely different kind of world.
Yeah.
And you know, when you've listened to this album, it's very it's very beguiling, isn't it? You listen to the different tracks and you think to yourself, this is very compelling stuff, and it's almost like you want to go and explore more of this. And you know,
it's exactly what I did. I bought this album and I went off to discover more of Santana, more of Bonnie Raitt, more of Candy. Exactly what happened.
Yeah, and so many great blues artists out there. You know, Lead Belly, Blind Blake. You know, all of these kind of like romantic sounding names that are the epitome of this. And so we're moving on to the last track on side one. That's All Right, featuring Charlie Musselwhite.
I've got a horrible feeling we've got a different album then, because on mine, Sally Mae is the first track on side two.
Okay. Well, okay, maybe it is then the side, but I was thinking more in terms of we've got the collaborative side and we've got the solo side, yeah. So this track, his harmonica playing is just unreal, isn't it? Absolutely unreal.
This track in particular, and when people listen to it, maybe they'll pick it up. It sounds like they're lifelong friends, and they've always played together, because there is no jarring. It's flawless.
Yeah. So here we go. That's All Right.
But just before we do, Charlie Musselwhite has recorded 40 albums. He plays the harmonica and has recorded 40 albums. You think?
How's that even a thing? Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. So here we go. That's All Right.
That's all right, baby. That's all right. That's all right, baby. I know you done me wrong, baby, but that's all right. yeah, go passing by. Keep on loving you, baby. Lord, 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 Lord. I keep on loving you, baby. You done me wrong, baby. But I forgive you, baby. You done me wrong, baby. Done me wrong, baby. I forgive you, forgive you. Come on, come on, come on, come on back on me, baby. That's all right, baby. That's all right. That's all right. Look at people. When you love a woman,
I just absolutely love it. Absolutely love it.
It almost doesn't sound like a harmonica. It is, but he plays it with such silkiness that it sits there, and it's not someone doing this and rattling around. It's just there.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's really, really nice.
Yeah, and you know, all of the tracks on this have had that kind of blues sitting slightly behind the beat kind of feel, you know, giving it that relaxed air. But certainly for me, those 7 tracks that we've had so far are really just the prelude for what's coming up. Because this is like proper blues, isn't it? The last 3 tracks.
This next one is, I've been teasing you. I've I've commercialized the blues. Now we're doing the blues.
Absolutely. So here we go. This is a rocking chair. He's playing a resonator guitar, like on the one on the front cover of Brothers in Arms, and this is just him changing tempo, letting his vocal phrasing dictate the speed and how it unfolds. Just absolute magic.
At 72.
At 72.
I ain't gonna be, babe, a fool no more. I ain't gonna be, no. I ain't gonna be a fool no more. I'm so tired, babe. Being your slave all night and day. Then you're rocking. Rocking these blues away. You're trying so hard. I'm trying so hard. Rock these blues away. In my rocking chair, my old time rocking chair.
And I think it's really important that this has come towards the end of the album, because if this was it's like if you're into any kind of music, the purest forms of that music are sometimes quite inaccessible, aren't they? And you need to have a bit of a build up to get to this point.
This track one, the fact I've now been warmed up, I'm ready for it. So, and it takes, you know, we've had high tempo, we've had very soft and mellow, and then we've got this. So, you know, all the time we're being treated as different sonics, and I think it allows us to listen to it and go, oh, that's different, oh, that's interesting, oh, he's giving that guitar a fair old thrashing. And because you're getting to that point, you just accept it and go, actually, that's quite good as well. And you just carry on listening to the rest of the album. You don't switch off because of it.
Yeah, and I think that what's kind of really interesting is that so I watched a documentary on James Taylor, and when he was first signed by Apple, so he was the first non-British performer on Apple Records, and obviously they were owned by the Beatles, and they had loads of a very specific sound, and he was quite different to that. And what the producers of the album failed to recognize was that James Taylor, it was all about him and his guitar, and that was when it was at its very best. But what they did was they kind of gave him backing tracks, and there was a drum kit, and there was a different kind of rhythm to a lot of his songs. And it was a catastrophically bad album. I don't know whether it was bad from a sales perspective, but it was awful, truly awful. And it was only when they then said, okay, how should we record this? And they went back to, that very stripped back feel that we know him for. That was the essence of what he was trying to say. And we've got a similar thing going on here, although obviously the first tracks on the album are not awful, but they're not what blues is about, really.
They're not what he spent the last 50 years doing.
Yeah, exactly. So My Dream, the next track, raw, unpolished. He uses an unconventional tuning for the instrument. It's very typically John Lee Hooker and very bluesy again.
Yeah, and we've got obviously the guys from Canned Heat on the bass and the drums. So again, there's another link back to Canned Heat.
So here we go, My Dream.
Dreaming on the day in the past, I had a dream last night. Dream for you in the past. I dream we're back together again. Me, you in the past. My dream. I wished it was true. My dream. Oh, you in fact, we were back together again. I had a dream. About me, you.
It's just all so soothing, isn't it? It really speaks to the most authentic me, this does.
A couple of bottles of Gentleman Jack bourbon were drunk during the recording of that. I am absolutely sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is exactly the kind of music to be listening to, men of our age, exactly the kind of music to be listening to on a Friday afternoon, isn't it? Just kind of chilling you out for the weekend.
It certainly worked. Well, I was tired anyway, but it's certainly working for me.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting because I can see myself listening to this again tonight when we've gone off air, because it's exactly the right kind of thing, the right kind of vibe for a Friday. So onto the last track, where Hooker puts down his normal electric guitar and picks up a 12-string, and this is just him and his guitar and his foot, isn't it?
It's very very C6 Steve. I can't imagine where he got his inspiration from.
No, absolutely. So this is No Substitute, a solemn meditation on life, age, and redemption.
We're going to try this one, okay? I want to tell you a true story. The facts of life. I know all about it, but I've been through it many times. Ain't no substitute, no substitute for love. When your woman gone, and nothing else can take her place. But there's no substitute for love. No. Love will make you gamble. Love will make you drink.
A tremendous way to round out the album. It's an album that was the most commercially successful album of his career, highest charting album, going gold in multiple countries, including the US and Australia. Well reviewed critically, 4 stars or a B+ from Village Voice, which seems a little bit harsh. My note here is this paved the way for late career revival albums across the genre, and absolutely incredible, incredible album, and a massive influence, says here again, on Santana's album that we covered, Supernatural.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And 2 years after this album was released, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in '97. So what's that? A few years after that, even he received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and he got a Lifetime Grammy Award in 2000. But this is the catalyst that kind of did that forward. And there was blues magazines pushing out albums, Boom Boom, and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, this reinvigorated him like a bit like a phoenix.
Yeah, absolutely, and a tremendous album to cover. And again, as I have what was the album that I said this about recently that we did on the show? With Nigel, Donald Fagen, The Night Fly. This is an album that I have not listened to for nearly 40 years. So this is I would have listened to this when this first came out, and for a year or so afterwards. So 35 plus years ago that I've last listened to this, and particularly, there are 1 or 2 tracks, particularly the title track on it, that it seems like I listened to it yesterday. Fell straight back into knowing the album quite well, and a joyous thing to cover. Thank you, mate. I have really enjoyed this.
Good. I knew you were a fan of the blues, and having done Clapton, having done Santana, it seemed only logical that we went a bit more bluesy, but not too bluesy, that would alienate everybody.
Yeah. So a really good choice. Thank you so much, Ieuan. Absolutely fantastic.
And I think we say absolute thank you to Nigel and Eric, who have been populating the chat with loads of interesting facts.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you, everybody in the audience. Thank you, Ieuan, obviously. And I'm looking forward. I say I'm looking forward to.
We're looking forward to.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a System of a Down Toxicity next week, which, because of how you're sniggering, I suspect maybe will not be quite in the same genre as this, but it will be interesting.
It's an amazing album.
Cool. Well, I shall look
for very different reasons.
Yeah. So let's play us out with a bit of music, and until next time, thank you all very much indeed.